I just lost you. Did you just clap your headphones out? You just dropped. Landon got way too fired up.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Okay, cool. We're back. Welcome to More Important Issues. Guys, tell us why you hate Florida in the comments. I want to hear it. I want to hear all the good jokes. Let's get them out. Let's enjoy these last couple of days. You know, there's hope, I guess.
You know the best part? I can't even really tell you why I hate Florida. Like, I just hate them. Like, there's no – like, that's how old this rivalry is. Like, Romeo, Juliet. I just know I can't marry them because I hate them.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want to get into that rivalry thing here in a second, but let's start the show. Guys, More Important Issues is brought to you by our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, Billy Ratliff's Tap 40 Grill, and Blue Water Climate Control. Here's a quick word from our good friends at Blue Water Climate Control.
People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something. And it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back to Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is
back.
Wednesday. We're back. We're fired up. I'm fired up. I don't know. Part of it's
something
just
about it.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's just I kind of feel like a dead man walking right now. I'm sorry. I do. I know I'm supposed to be fired up. I know it's Florida Hate Week. I still hate Florida with a burning passion. I'm not excited. I'm not excited for Saturday night. I'm sorry. I know it's very negative of me, but I'm not pumped. I'm not ready for this.
We're living every day like it's our last. We're going that full Tim McGraw, live like you were dying.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm like, person who's known they've been dying for a long time, and I'm just kind of ready for it to just finish me off. Like, we could do an assisted suicide if we'd like. Whatever at this point. I know, and a lot of people aren't going to like the negativity. I'm sorry. I won't be negative. That's just how I feel. It's not like I'm like F the balls or anything. I'll be cheering hard for him. I'm a dead man walking.
Yeah. We really don't even know who our starting quarterback is going to be. So there's just tons of question marks with Tennessee going into this Florida game. You can't feel great about the game when you look at the matchup, especially how Florida played Alabama, which I feel like people are discrediting Florida, and maybe that's fair because they weren't super impressive with the previous opponents they played, but they're like, oh, Alabama isn't that good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but they're not that good for Alabama. Like, they're still one of the best teams in the country.
Right. Yeah, I just think Florida deserved a little bit more credit for that game. I mean, it looked like it was going to get out of hand.
Well, yeah,
21-3 in the first quarter.
The first quarter is where it really looked like that. And I'll say this too: not that I ever root for a Florida victory, because I certainly don't. But I almost would have rather have seen them win that one and hopefully have that big win hangover coming into this week. But I feel like playing tight with what everyone knows is one of the best teams in the country, doesn't that just kind of fire you up even more if you're Alabama, or if you're Florida? Excuse me. Like, now we know we can play with them. We're also pissed off because we lost. I'd rather them just be dealing with a hangover.
You still think they have a hangover? I mean, how do you get up for this game the same way you got up for Alabama?
It's 7:00 in in Gainesville. That's how you get up for it. I mean, this is college football. We saw it with Auburn and Penn State this past weekend. Like, and here's the thing: like, if you can't play for, if you can't play in that kind of environment, then college football is just not for you. You're I don't know. I get your wood's wet. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you can't play this Saturday in Gainesville, if we're sitting here talking about Tennessee, couldn't get up for that game, like, because I hope they don't have the mentality of me where it's like I'm a dead man walking. I hope their mentality is better. But if they can't get up for that game, then they aren't gonna win any football games that matter. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So let's get into this game. I mean, first I want to ask you, like, I heard this week, is this even a rivalry anymore?
It's a rivalry. Unfortunately, Vanderbilt and Tennessee's been tighter. It's a rivalry because there's more to rivalries than just the games. Like, so much more that surround them. Like, some rivalries are born out of great matchups. Some of them are born because of location. Some of them are born because of conferences. And there's a bunch of different things that play into a rivalry. Obviously, the rivalry's better when the teams are competitive. And obviously,
they've dominated the past, 10, 12 years?
I mean, they've dominated since 2004. Tennessee has one win since then. So, yes, is it a great rivalry of college football? Not anymore. Like, it's not going to be you're not going to get the notification from NCAA at the end that this was an instant classic, as of late. So I mean, like, but you did have a couple of those. 15 was unfortunately a close game, but it was a tight game. That was the 9-10 game, right? Or was that 14? Yeah, it was 15, I think.
Ugh.
I can't remember now. Then you obviously had 16 was a great game. Tennessee did win that one. 17 was unfortunately a tight game in the sense of Tennessee was on the wrong side of it. So there have been some classics thrown into there. It's definitely a rivalry. If Florida fans are saying it's not a rivalry, it's because they're saying we suck, and it's hard to, I don't have a good rebuttal for that.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'll talk crap because it's my job, but not because I believe it necessarily. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much more that goes into a rivalry. Graham Morgan said Vanderbilt's not a rivalry. I mean, let's be honest. Tennessee fans somehow get fired up for Vanderbilt week. Like, we
hate Vanderbilt. Yeah,
it's location, it's regional. Like, it is a rivalry. Again, is it a premier rivalry in college football? No, not by any means.
No. Yeah, I mean, looking at Tennessee, it comes down to quarterback play. And when you kind of break down these two teams, Florida definitely has the better quarterback play up to this point. And I'm not saying Emory Jones is a Heisman candidate or anything like that, but he has shown that he's more consistent than what Tennessee has shown up to this point.
Well, yeah, and you said it right. It's not the factor is Tennessee's quarterback. I mean, Florida's offense can do enough that Emory Jones isn't going to have to be a world, a rock star on Saturday. Now, if they get, Anthony Richardson, like, could that offense be more dynamic?
There's no way that guy plays, right?
He was doing backflips and warm-ups against Alabama. I mean,
if you don't play against Alabama, like, why play this week?
I was going to say that. I mean, it would be weird to sit out Alabama and then just start playing this week. I do agree with that. It's an interesting situation for sure, but a lot of people, Florida fans, but around the country too, I mean, they think Richardson's better than Jones, and I don't know. I haven't seen much. Some people are calling him Tim Tebow, which seems like a bold claim. I mean, nothing against Richardson. Kind of seems like crowning Joe Milton as Cam Newton before you even really see him play much. I mean, I gotta think everyone thinks their offense is more dynamic if you bring Richardson in. But I'm also, I mean, is Emory Jones more dynamic this game? Let's be honest. As good as Tennessee's defense has played, as good as Tennessee's defensive line has played the first 3 weeks, they're not an Alabama front seven.
No. Yeah, and the fact that they're able to rush for like 200-something yards on Alabama's defense is insane because when we're talking about Florida, they haven't had a great running game since – shoot, I don't even remember when the last time Florida's just been dominant on the ground. I'm not saying they're dominant, but they're definitely something you have to really respect with the quarterbacks and the running backs.
when you rush for that many yards on Alabama, like it's dominance pretty. It seems like the correct word to say that.
Yeah, and the fact that Alabama only rushed for 91 yards on 28 carries against them, that tells me that Florida dominates up front on both sides of the ball in the trenches, and that's how you win football games in the SEC. So it's not a great sign for Tennessee. Their offensive line hasn't looked great. Their defensive line was a big question mark. I know they're playing with some confidence, but again, it's not an Alabama defense. It's not a Todd Grantham defense. It's some guys that they've gotten a lot from with Rodney Gardner and Matthew Butler's playing well. Tyler Barron's playing well, and they've got some guys up front, some depth to make things a little better. But I don't think they're not playing in the backfield every play like you'd want in the SEC against inferior opponents like a Tennessee Tech and Bowling Green.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. As well as they've played, they're still, as far as especially playing with a team like Florida, how they've looked, especially in this previous week, it's going to be more of a challenge. And I touched on this on Sunday's episode. It's going to take a not so great game from Alabama and a really good game from not so great game from Florida, a really good game from Tennessee, if you even want to talk about playing in it. I mean, right now the spread's at 20. I mean, Vegas somehow freaking knows everything. I don't know. So it would be incredibly stupid for Tennessee fans not to say, yeah, it's not going to be a close game. I mean, if Tennessee plays it, cool. I mean, I think Tennessee covers.
Are you willing to put money on it?
I'll put Tennessee to cover. I'll do it.
Okay.
Nothing's going to ruin my Saturday night this week. I'll sprinkle a couple on Tennessee to cover. Lose by less than 19, why not?
Yeah, I mean, so that defense, as good as they are, they've only caused 3 turnovers. Now, Tennessee has had some problems with some turnovers, especially at the quarterback position with fumbling the ball. But, I mean, if we hold on to the ball, I feel good about us competing. Now, if we're having a bunch of turnovers, I just don't think it's going to be very close at all. But if you're able to hold on to the football, sustain some drives, I think you can be in it and make it a second-half football game for sure.
Yeah, and I guess we'll find out what Dan Mullen in Florida really thinks of Tennessee. I think with the way they attack this game, if they come out and they're throwing the ball over the place, trying to move down the field quickly, they just flat out have no respect for that defense, and think they can attack them in a fairly in a way that they're not great in. And now, if they come out and try to control the game and they're on the field for long periods of time, then they're just completely playing to their strengths, which is what they probably should do. And they're going to beat Tennessee the right way. And they're going to play Tennessee because they expect a competitive game. So I'm kind of curious to see like what Dan Mullen does. I think it'll tell us a lot about what opposing coaches, what they think of this team. You always get the articles that are an anonymous coach said they hated the way Jeremy Pruitt coached games and they thought his team was blah, blah, this and this. We'll find out, I think, on Saturday what Dan Mullen thinks. And I think the best case scenario is Florida comes out and doesn't try to run a game plan like they did against Alabama for whatever reason. That's Tennessee's best case scenario.
Sir, are you more concerned with Alabama or Florida's you're making me say Alabama.
I know.
Florida's defense or Florida's offense?
More concerned. I mean, I would probably say Florida's offense, and I just think if they keep our defense on the field for long stints, and then of course are able to score on those drives, then I mean that's going to put a ton. I mean, first off, your defense doesn't have the depth right now to go the distance with Florida. So if they scored on a couple long drives and we're talking into the third quarter, they could score a lot of points in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like it could get out of hand quickly if they're able to accomplish that goal. So I think I would say Florida's offense.
Okay. I'd probably go with defense just because of what Tennessee has shown on offense up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I mean, they against Alabama, Florida they only had, I think Alabama's longest play was 29 yards. Tennessee has not been able to get big chunk plays, hasn't been able to hit on the deep ball with a wide open receiver. So if that continues into this game, I think it could get ugly because I think you're going to get some 3-and-outs or a turnover, and it could get ugly for that. If you're giving Florida a short field, I think it could be bad pretty quickly. But I think I like our defense against, because what are we averaging 54 yards a game rushing wise, and I know it is
the match. You're right. The matchup's probably better in that sense, but I also don't. Nothing against our defensive line, what they've shown to this point. It's just going to be a lot to stop Florida's rushing attack. Like, I think it's an incredibly tall task.
And I think it's more so their it's not their running backs that really make me nervous. It's more of like we couldn't keep Kenny Pickett in the pocket.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's definitely like their full rushing attack.
And Emory Jones is a way better athlete than Kenny Pickett ever thought about being. But if you are able, positive side, if you are able to keep him in the pocket and force him to beat you with his arm, I think you have a chance, because he's not great when he doesn't have a lot of time, and he's not great when he can't extend plays. He's 49 for 77 with 2 interceptions and 5 interceptions. So 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So just not great.
No,
he's not Kyle Trask by any means.
He's not Kyle Trask. I mean, he's not going to beat you with his arm. Like, that's not going to happen. I hope not. I think that would raise a lot of red flags for what I thought has been a pretty decent secondary up until this point. It would raise a ton of red flags. So yeah, I think it definitely is going to be. Does having Byron Young in for Florida, does that help containing the quarterback? I got to think at least lends you a little bit of help. Kind of making the opposing team respect the other side. I think that certainly would be a huge boost there. We'll see. I'm sorry. It's hard to have a ton of faith. I mean, I know that's not what Tennessee fans necessarily want to hear, but it's just, I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I agree. And Jacob Copeland, he was thought to come to Tennessee. It looks like his mom was upset when he picked Florida on National Signing Day. But he's leading the Gators in receiving with 7 receptions, 200 yards. But he's only had 2 receptions for 25 yards against Alabama and the Florida Atlanta game. He had all of his yards pretty much in that South Florida game. So I don't think they have like a ton of options at receiver. I know they lost Pitts, Kadarius Toney. Those are 2 huge losses. And I like our secondary against this wide receiver core.
Yeah,
so I kind of like our matchup on defense. It's just the offense. Like, the defense has done their part up to this point. It's the offense. Like, Josh Heupel needs to earn that huge pay raise he got by taking this job and be the offensive coach that he was set to be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of, like, when you ask me which one's better, I mean, the biggest thing is, can the defense stay off the field? Well, the offense has got to assist you in that. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the defense can't allow for these long sustained drives. I mean, that they've got to find ways to get off the field, turnovers, forcing, making good plays on third down, not letting the quarterback, like, there's all these things. I don't know if Tennessee's defense can get off the field, and part of that is on the offense. So,
yeah, if you're going 3 and out, we're running like 6 seconds of play. I mean, 30 seconds, Tennessee's back on defense.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, this offense has to move the ball, because that's just the nature of the beast, and that you're probably not going to spend a lot of time on the field. So you have to produce. Yeah, I mean, 30. So Fireball said we scored 38, 34, and 56. Offense has done good. I mean, I don't think the offense has played that poorly, but I think when you look at the Pitt game, you had that
definitely did not dominate.
Which, I mean, it should have been a first down on that Hendon Hooker play, but you can't not score from the 4-yard line or whatever it ended up being. I mean, I don't think the offense or defense have played poorly up to this point. I just don't think they've proven that they can play play with top tier SEC teams right now. And you're gonna face 3 and outs against Florida. How many? Hopefully not many, because you've got to be able to get off the field. Because you face 3 and outs against Tennessee Tech, so it's inevitable. I've always not been a huge fan of super fast-paced offense. I will say this: I am so happy we don't run a fast-paced offense. Go up to the line of scrimmage
and look to the sideline.
What the fuck are you even doing? And my biggest thing is why in like 4th down situations, when you go for on 4th down, why don't you then snap the ball the first time? It's almost like it catches the defense off guard.
That's a good point.
So I'm just glad we don't do that anymore. I hate Butch Jones for making every high school in the Knoxville area start doing that. That's what I hate Butch Jones about most.
Yeah, because when you switch everybody around after that, you've literally just huddled, basically. You've done the same thing. Just huddle up.
Just huddle up. just huddle up. Just run a play or just huddle up.
We should make in between crap. Just huddle up. Especially if this offense doesn't work in SEC play, we're definitely making a shirt that says just huddle up.
At least, again, they're not looking at the sideline every single play. That drives me nuts.
So does Josh Heupel, if it does get to where they're getting a couple 3 and outs, does he slow down the pace a little bit?
No chance.
Really?
They haven't practiced that at all, so no chance.
I mean, he's said that Hendon Hooker doesn't go as fast as he'd like, and he probably doesn't go as fast as Joe Milton. But
I mean, isn't that kind of part of the offense is going as fast as you can? Like, this is an offense that wouldn't, like, in that kind of the whole thing about it, like, this offense wouldn't function at a normal pace. It has to be going as fast as they can.
You think?
Well, I'm just saying, like, they can't. For the offense to be the most effective, they can't slow it down. Isn't that kind of the thinking behind this style? Because then wouldn't people just slow it down?
I don't know. It's the going fast. Like
the idea is to keep the defense on the field, get in mismatches.
I think play calling has been fine. I haven't had a ton of problems with the play calling. Maybe that goal line play against Pitt wasn't the best play call, but also you were kind of at a disadvantage from the get-go with who you had on the field.
Most of it's been execution. Most of the offense.
Yeah, problems. I mean, you're on Pitt's throat if you complete 2 of those D balls. And one should have been caught. It wasn't just on the quarterback. Jalen Hyatt should have caught that ball. I know he got hurt, but he should have caught it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the quarterback play just hasn't been what I thought. I thought it would be a ton better, and I guess it has because you don't have the same quarterback, but it's not been up to my liking to where I think, hey, we can compete with a Florida. We can compete with, dare I say, Georgia and Alabama. But, I mean, really. It's not to where I think we can compete with those teams.
No, it's certainly not. And I mean, yeah, I think imagine if you hit on how many deep balls has Tennessee missed on this season?
Probably 8.
6, 8. I guess if you're counting Hooker, had one this week. So yeah, 8. If you complete half of those ball games are very, very different. Pitt might even flip to a win.
Oh yeah, Pitt most definitely. I'll give you hit 2 of those, it's a win, easy.
If you just look at the scoreboard, obviously the flow of the game can change. But I think if you hit that one, like you said, to Hyatt, the flow of the game goes way in Tennessee's favor.
Also, I forget who pointed out that the number of times we've scored each game. I mean, against Tech,
there's no way Pitt or Milton missed 6 deep balls in the Pitt game. Am I misremembering? 6?
I think it was more like.
I think it was 3 or 4 maybe. Then he missed 2 in the Bowling Green game.
But we scored 38, 34, 56. I mean, against Tennessee Tech, I mean, the defense, one time they scored. Against Pitt, we blocked a punt, and you had it on the 2-yard line.
That's a good point.
And then Alontae Taylor almost ran one back. He got it I think he was at the 20 or something. So the defense has given them some opportunities to score on a short field. And then
that's fair.
And then Joe Milton goes down and gets tackled at the 3-yard line. and then we get like 8 penalties in a row. I mean, Tennessee just
Yeah.
shot themselves in the foot during Pitt. Yeah, it was just a bad game.
That's a big thing that kind of got forgotten in this the playing Tech week. You can't have anywhere close to the amount of penalties you had against Pitt. Nowhere close to that.
No, and you did. I think you only had 3.
Yeah, so we can't have
I think Tennessee's got to play
70 yards.
No, I think they got to play a really clean football game to be in this. I think they're going to have to hit on some chunk plays and get better quarterback play. I think that offensive line also has to be better. Hopefully Cooper Mays is back, and that helps. Jeremiah Crawford was the highest-rated offensive player. It was Pro Football Focus. I know what we think about Pro Football Focus. But when you look at them, that they rated Jeremiah Crawford had the best game offensively. So does that mean he's able to get more reps? You can move Cade to where he wants to play anyway at guard and make that offensive line a little better.
I would like to see Cade move.
I think it starts at Cooper, but maybe that's something down the road that we could see come to light.
I'd really like to see Cade move to guard. I think it would help this offensive line tremendously.
Also, how does Florida get – okay, their toughest road game is at Kentucky.
Interesting.
So
I hadn't even looked at their full schedule.
They played South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Were they in Tampa?
That's not very south, are they?
Where was it at? That's what I thought too. Maybe it wasn't.
I don't know where South Florida's at. I would assume South Florida, but it might not be.
Let's see where it's at. Yeah, Tampa, Florida. That's weird.
That doesn't seem very south to me.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, they played them. I mean, I'm sure Florida just packed that stadium. They get Alabama at home. They get Tennessee at home. They don't have to ever play Georgia in Athens.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They do play LSU on the road. So LSU and Kentucky are probably the two hardest.
Will get canceled somehow.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'd say LSU's definitely way harder than Kentucky.
I mean, how did they luck into – no, it's so dumb. Another thing I was talking about today, luck, hitting on a quarterback. I mean, Matt Corral is probably going to win a Heisman Trophy, and they thought John Rice Plumlee was going to be the starter until Lane Kiffin got there. I mean, he wasn't even going to play, and now he's going to win a Heisman.
Is Tampa really south? Like, would we call that South Florida? I had to just double check on a map. That seems pretty Central Florida. In fact, I mean, it can't be more than
Orlando,
60 miles south of Central Florida.
Well, Orlando is right across the state, right?
Oh yeah,
it's
very close
from Tampa, and that's Central Florida. So South Florida is
there's a lot south of Florida,
right?
There's plenty of stuff to the south.
Like when you say South Florida, that should be like, oh, it's probably near Miami.
Well, you'd think you're tipping that thing out, but no. It is yeah, no, that's not. I wouldn't call that South Florida. I'm sorry. We're big geography guys. I was like, Landon, we've crowned ourselves as big geography guys, and now I'm thinking I may not know where Tampa, Florida's at.
Well,
so I had to go check on that.
It is Florida. I mean, they just don't get anything.
I mean, I guess if you draw that state, or if you cut
Florida
a line,
man names Tampa, South Florida.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you draw a line in it, they probably do fall the southern side of that line, but that's getting loose with the term south in my opinion.
It's very close. Yeah, it's very close. But yeah, how do they look into that every single year? It seems like they just don't have to play anybody.
Mentioned it. They play Georgia neutral site every year. That's obviously a pickup. And then if we're going to let's just be honest, Neyland hadn't been a hostile environment in quite some time.
Florida, they looked Kyle Trask. I mean, what he didn't play until it was like
freshman year of high school or college.
Yeah, he didn't even start his senior year, right?
So they said it a billion times. I don't know how I've forgotten it. But yeah, I mean, something crazy like that.
I mean, why can't we just have that? I'm not saying like guys on the roster maybe can't get it done, but I just don't understand how every team – Dylan Gabriel at UCF, I don't know how much that was luck, but he turned out to be a really good quarterback.
So UCF's a good name. That is Central Florida.
Right.
So,
and it's like it's in Orlando. It's right next to Tampa.
Yeah, no, it's very close. I'm not ready. I'm sorry, I'm not ready for this game.
Today marks 30 years since the last time Florida played a non-conference road game outside the state of Florida. The last time was 1991 at Syracuse. Dylan Cole just sent me that.
Wow. That seems insane.
I mean, what a joke. God, somebody burn the Swamp down.
Do you want me to at least be a little fair to that point? Florida State's in that mix.
Oh, well, look at them.
Well, I'm just saying.
I mean, they're in a worse place than Disney ever thought about being.
I'm just saying. Florida State's in that mix for sure. And there's like that's a good program. And then Miami was a good program before 30 years ago. Like in that time period, they've been a good program. I mean, they won a freaking national championship like 7 years ago. Longer than that, 8 years ago. And then I don't know if they played Miami. Maybe Dylan can tell us that. Like they do have. It's not like Vanderbilt. Like our options would be Vanderbilt or Memphis or MTSU. They do have.
He's saying that they haven't played
a non-conference game out of the state of Florida.
Right.
So those two, they could have potentially played those two teams in that span.
I mean, they do play Florida State every year,
right.
But
so like that's a little. I'm just saying that's skewed, kind of like.
Still, like their true road game was South Florida and Tampa. It's not even South Florida.
No, I agree with that.
It's a trash can. It's a trash can.
That stat is fun to say. It's just not. It doesn't accurately depict the full story. That's all.
It does. It does now that Florida State's absolute trash.
Well, I mean, so since 2001, they played Miami. Oh, they played them in New Orleans. They played Miami 1, 2. Just twice at Miami. So,
and 85 times at Florida. I'm just kidding.
No, they played at Florida, I think, just twice, and then they played in New Orleans and Atlanta. So, probably Sugar and Peach Bowl, I would assume.
Who do we see more of this week? That's what I want to know. Who is an unsung hero for Tennessee in this game?
Dude, if Tyon Evans is healthy, I've got to think he is just.
He has one of those John Kelly games in the swamp.
I mean, I feel like Pitt was just a freaking thesis for what he's going to do this year. If he's, I mean, is he healthy? What was wrong with him? Did he have COVID? Are we going to get a freaking John Fulkerson performance from him now? No offense, Folky, love you.
I hope not.
Because it was just illness, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
If we're reading into any of that, I would say it's probably COVID.
But it could have been like contact tracing.
Right,
It didn't necessarily have to be having COVID.
It was because of illness, not that he had an illness.
Yeah.
And he was back in like a week, so.
Right. I doubt it he had COVID, but he may have. Because that protocol, I mean, they might have Nick Saban tested him. Just 85 tests. Few of them got to end up our way. I've liked Tyon since the start, since he's gotten to Tennessee. So I'm kind of just like, that's some personal, but I feel like this could just be the next step forward. And you talk about, if you want to move the ball consistently, B. Hunter asked if Jabari was out. Pretty sure he'll play in Florida, but obviously he's been banged up too. And not that I think Jabari Small will still get plenty of touches, assuming he's completely healthy. I think Tyon Evans has been a bit more dynamic.
Yeah, he's got that home run playability. And not that I guess Jabari Small could have that. We just see a little bit more wiggle from Tyon Evans.
Yeah. I think Hooker should start.
I do too. Yeah. I mean, Joe Milton hadn't played in 7 quarters. Why throwing him out in the swamp? No, I just don't think it sounds like a recipe of for disaster to me.
Yeah. And I think Hooker, had some bad turnovers, but overall.
So is Milton on the sideline answering the phone like JT Shroud is what I want to know.
Why do we have phones still? Why don't they just use headsets? That seems like the logical solution.
I've never understood that.
And why do we have a phone that looks like it was at your grandmother's house?
Why can't we have just like a cell phone?
Any other, they looked like they were like, we'll put this on the sidelines. It looks like they found it in an antique store. It was a rotary phone. That's not true. It could have been.
I have a theory. They don't even talk on it. It's just for show.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Because they have, you can talk to them in the helmet, right? I'm just kidding.
I don't understand why you can't in college. It's so dumb. But whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
My unexpected one is Walker Merrill.
You think he gets more touches this week?
I thought he played well. I was impressed with him. He's going to catch it. He was a for sure receiver in high school, and it seems like he made the most of his opportunities. Why not? He's the one that should have already had a touchdown too, and it was missed.
Yeah, we'll see how many touches he gets this week. He had obviously a good week, but it was Tech, to be fair.
It was Tech, yeah. Also, I want to see more Jimmy Callaway. I'm a big receiver guy, so I'm a little biased. Jimmy Callaway and Aubrey Solomon. Hell, he led us in tackles. He only played 20 snaps.
Someone mentioned a minute ago Aubrey should help this defensive line. I agree. It looks like he's playing a little bit better.
Yeah, let him eat up some holes.
I was about to say, I'd imagine he gets used a lot this week. I would imagine.
Well, and Byron Young. I also think another one. I think Jeremy Banks is going to have a hell of a game if Tennessee has a chance.
And the biggest thing, mistake free. We can't have dumb blocking the backs. Can't have personal foul penalties. We need our boy Jay Banks to play smart.
Yeah, he's going to be tested over the middle. That's where Florida was really hitting on Alabama late in that game. So hopefully he's better than his counterpart, Henry To'oTo'o. Yeah, I think he's going to be tested. So if Tennessee's got a shot, I think he's going to have a really good game. I'm okay with their secondary. I think they played well up to this point. I think getting those first kind of picks out of the way maybe gives them some confidence, and I think they lock down these receivers. I'm not worried about that.
Open the floodgates?
Yeah, I don't think you have a big chunk plays, especially with Emory Jones not having a great arm anyway. I'm feeling good about that.
Okay. All of the secondary. Score prediction. What do you got?
Oh, man. It'll probably change, but right now I'm going to go – I definitely am taking the under in this game.
What's it at?
It was 67.
Okay, I'm right under it. So
I'm going to go 31-21 Florida.
31. Okay, I went 37. I think I'll say 37-27. It's 27-28. 37-28. We'll go 4 touchdowns. 37-28. I think Tennessee's offense gets at least 3. Defense maybe gets 1. 37-28.
Okay.
They cover.
That's not bad.
Cover.
And I know we're tired of moral victories. I understand that. But from where our program is and where Florida's was last year.
I think the game will be uglier than it looks. I'll say that.
You think the score will be worse than it?
No. I think the game will be uglier than what the score represents. I think Tennessee's offense.
Kind of like last year.
Or
we end up covering because we scored some bull
crap. I don't know if it's late necessarily. I just think Florida controls the game enough that they're not trying to get out to these big leads. I think Tennessee's offense scores, enough to make it interesting, I guess. But I think it's going to probably seem insurmountable because of the way Florida hangs onto the football. So I think it feels a lot worse than the score represents. So I've got it at 9 points. I think it feels closer to 20.
Gotcha. Just compete. That's what I want to see. Just Jeremy Pruitt couldn't compete in any of these games. I know he covered last year, but it was kind of bullcrap. The way that Florida could have hung 150 points with Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask. So
did Pitts play in that game? I know it was late. Did he play it? I was trying to remember because I know we played him in December. Okay.
Well, Tony lit us up. It wasn't even Pitt.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so
Richard said,
I definitely not as scared of this offense as I was last year.
Right.
100%.
Richard said Tennessee wins 21-20. I'll say this. I think if it's a low-scoring game, I don't like Tennessee's chances because that kind of goes back into probably a lot of mistakes, plus Florida probably controlling the tempo. So,
hey, I'll take that though. If it's late, I'll tell you somebody who's impressed me.
Chance, maybe.
Chase McGrath.
Okay.
I'm loving me I'm loving me some special teams. Loving me some Chase McGrath. If it's late and he gets an opportunity, he's hitting it.
Love it.
And we're going nuts in Nashville. Me and Caleb are our buddy has a wedding. It's Chad. Yeah. Some of y'all might know Chad.
They know Chad.
But
friend of the pod.
We've given him a lot of crap for it. Don't worry. For having a fall wedding. He's actually been on the show and said that he hates fall weddings. Now he's having one. So you see who wears the pants in that relationship. Yeah, we'll be in Nashville, so we won't be there, but we have friends that are going. So if y'all are going, give them hell, baby.
Give them hell. No, I don't know where Ardmore, Tennessee is. Do you know where that's at, geography guy?
Ardmore.
I couldn't even give you it. That sounds very West Tennessee, but not west. Not west like South Florida, like west, like just west of Nashville. It sounds like that kind of West Tennessee.
Yeah.
Or it's just east. I don't know. We'll see. USC transfer seems to do well here.
It's right on the Alabama line.
West Tennessee? Or is it technically still kind of East Tennessee? On the Middle Tennessee, but eastern side of middle?
It is – God, where is – it's directly south of Nashville.
All right, we'll have to draw a line and find out. What if it falls on the South Florida side?
Yeah, it's on the line. It is west of Chattanooga.
That's west to me, baby. It's west to me. Oh.
But yeah, we're actually from Knoxville, but we will be in Nashville for a wedding.
Just for that night. A couple nights.
Yeah.
But
we'll be there. We'll have the game up. Don't worry. It is – the wedding will be over by the time the game starts.
Yeah, we'll be in the reception.
Yep.
So, good deal.
All right, let's get into what does Tennessee have to do to compete? Give me two things.
Don't turn the ball over.
Okay.
Often, I should say. And then we'll go defensively. I think contain the quarterback. Yeah. Because you're not going to be able to stop the run. So I think just keep Emory Jones or Anthony Richardson in check, whoever's back there. And I think you give yourself a really good chance. Because stopping the run is just an impossible task. If you can do it, great, you're going to win. But you're probably not going to be able to. But if you can, like you said, their best part of their running game is Emory Jones getting out of the pocket. If you can limit that, you give yourself a really good chance.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one that I'd probably add is I think you got to hit the deep balls.
Yes.
I think we're talking about the quarterback situation a lot differently if, like you said earlier, half of those deep balls are hit. You still got some turnovers. You got some stuff to clean up for sure, but I don't think we're like, oh, man, we have question marks at quarterback. If you hit on some of those.
No, I agree. I agree.
The deep balls. I mean, that it takes everybody. It's not just the quarterback. It takes the receiver getting open. It takes the offensive line to protect. Receivers also got to catch it. Quarterback's got to throw it. It takes that whole entire offense. But execution has to be on par this week.
Agreed. Really, really on par.
2022 schedule.
2022 schedule. We're going to LSU, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
I want to book it like yesterday.
I
asked my wife. I was like, hey, they just released a schedule. What are you doing October 8th? She's like, I don't know. It's like a year away. I was like, you're right. I don't know what I'm doing either. But I know I'm going to be at LSU.
I feel like she knows like a few things a year in advance. First off, she definitely knew a year in advance when she was going on vacation. No doubt in my mind. And then you probably have 2 or 3 weddings a year from now that you're booked for as well.
I got one in June. That's all I got right now. So they didn't tell me in time. I'm sorry. I'm going to LSU. How often do they switch? Is it 8 years?
7 now, I guess.
Okay, 7. So, yeah, that's something.
So you go, or 6, 6, I guess. So you go to LSU will come back to Knoxville in 2028 and then.
Okay, so 12 years. We wouldn't be able to go back until 12 years.
Shoot, I forget. Gosh darn it. I forgot the Pitt plays the week before. That would be a fun away game.
No, Pitt plays September 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the week before. There's 2 weeks in between that.
Dang it. I might have to go to both. I mean, that sounds awesome. Pitt?
Yeah, if they play in Heinz Field, is that like – I mean –
I don't care. That's a cool trip.
I get it. It would be cool because it's somewhere you're not really going to go, but it's not like the same college atmosphere as like –
No. I wouldn't do Pitt over LSU, but I would like to do both.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
I'm for sure going to LSU though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I won't choose Pitt over LSU, but I want to do Pitt too.
So let's talk about the schedule a little bit. There was some news. Tennessee paid off Army. We're helping the troops out, man.
Yeah, if I'm going to watch
see
some
the breakdown of it.
No, but if I was going to watch some team that Tennessee should beat anyways, I'd like it to be a team that's like, yeah, I got to go to who gives a shit about Akron?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more so like you have to prepare for that offense, and you're never going to see it again.
That seems overrated to prepare entirely for that offense.
You don't want to get beat. I mean,
there's a reason people don't run it anymore, is what I'm saying.
I understand that, but there's also like it's not out of the realm of possibility that Tennessee could lose to Army.
Yeah, but if you're going to lose to Army, you're going to get your ass kicked everywhere else on the schedule, so who cares?
I agree. Yeah, they just kind of want to get out of that game. It just didn't. I guess Tim Banks, Josh Ivor, just like
no, apparently they had nothing to do with them.
Well, I mean, like this was marked way in advance before they even got here. So
yeah, but apparently the cancellation was set in motion years ago too.
Oh yeah, that's right, and it just never happened.
Right, that's what they said. I mean, that's the article I read.
But they were going to pay Army, I think, $1.4 million to play, and they paid them $500,000 to cancel it, and then they end up paying Akron $1.5 million. So. So yeah, you lost.
They were going to pay. I think they were going to pay Akron They're going to pay Akron $1 million. They were going to pay Army 1.4, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So you lost what, $100K?
Yeah.
That's not a big. I mean, when I thought that, I was like, "Good Lord, we're going to pay." I thought they would have to pay them the full amount. I guess not. I guess they just came to an agreement. But
right.
If I'm Army, I'm like, nope, I want that full amount. I know you got it.
Yeah, right. I mean, there had to be something, too, to Army agreeing. I don't know what's on their schedule. There had to be something to that. Maybe they're making up a game from 2020 that got canceled. Potentially. I'm really not sure.
But yeah, preparing for that offense, it doesn't really help you. I mean, I know what you're saying is like you should be able to
hurt you?
Defend it. But I mean, you're never going to run that same defense. So you're wasting a whole week where you could be like.
I mean, all in all, it's a variation. You're really just playing assignments. You're not changing your entire structure of your defense. You're just learning brand new assignments. But I mean, it's also not an incredibly complicated offense to scheme for it.
It's not.
A lot of people were using, it's to protect from injuries. I'm like,
yeah, I don't get that. I mean, that's any game.
Yeah, but I mean, they get a lot of
they get cut. That's true.
They get cut a lot, but it's like at the same time, it's like, I mean,
it could happen anytime.
So I don't know. I don't care. All in all, it would have been cool to see Tennessee play Army if I had to watch any other boring game. I'll say that.
Yep. But
also, I'll tell Danny White right now, if I have to pay a donation, you think I'm negative now, you just wait. And if you're crying because it's not fair to some people, well, you know what else isn't fair? That my family has been sitting in those seats since 1972 and cheering for some god-awful product for a lot of that time.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's not fair. So why bring in these people from the outside? If it's true the donation's gone, I will be or donations added on to even grandfathered in, I will be I haven't read the full thing. I will be not happy and I'll be negative.
I mean, I think
I might not renew my season tickets.
I mean, I think that's from what I read, that's how I read it. Now I could be wrong. But also like it's also pretty shitty that he's, I guess, lowering the price, so I have to pay a donation. So right. I'm not grandfathered in like you. So ours are lower, like $200 lower per ticket. Cool, great. But we also buy tickets for baseball, for basketball, and all that. So my dad's like pay like I think $1,000 for his MVP seat at baseball, and now it's not umbrellaed. It was just a one-time donation that he had to pay. So he's gotten it for like 2 or 3 years, I think. And now they're taking that away. It's not umbrellaed anymore. So he used to pay that donation, that $500 donation every single year. So he's made season tickets cheaper, but he's made everything else more expensive. Things that are actually winning, he's making that more expensive.
So he's making you pay a separate donation to get baseball season tickets now.
Correct.
Yeah, I may not renew just out of the simple fact. The cost may be very, very similar, may even be the exact same. It's just out of that's an effing stupid move. If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna say we're gonna start doing it because we upgraded the stadium, that's one thing. To come out with this bullshit, we want to make it fair for everyone involved. Who fair?
Fair.
It's not fair. Like, what's been fair about buying tickets ever?
There's 80,000 people in a 102,000 capacity stadium. There's plenty of room.
I need to go read the full thing, but I really may not buy them. I feel like I'm pushed to the brink every day of no longer being a Tennessee fan. So trust me, it's not going to hurt to just say I'm not buying them.
Yeah, I mean,
I can get those season tickets for $10 for every single kickoff.
I mean, he does you're the athletic director. You're not just the football director. So I don't understand what's winning. You want to put less people in the stands because you want to charge them more for teams that are actually winning, but you want to fill the seats for a program that's been shit for 15 years.
Yeah, and I'm all for doing the extra things that grow the fan experience, like adding the Jumbotron or making the seats better, whatever. I'm cool. But if you're not going to do that and try to charge me more money or make me pay a donation, I'm not doing it. So if you're just going to be like, we want to make it fair all of a sudden, no, absolutely not. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just a bad deal. I'm interested to see what actually happens, but yeah, not a great look for Danny White. I don't know. He's done some weird stuff in his time at Tennessee.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be, Hunter. I know in the I think that everyone around me, I think it's $1,000 donation is what you have to pay. So
yeah.
Again, he may try to balance it out where the price looks the same, but it's just quit doing just obnoxiously stupid shit. It's fair. Yeah. It's fair. Whatever. All right.
All right, man. We're gonna add some more. Yeah, we're gonna talk some baseball. We're at some guys in here that really help us out. Dylan Cole, Joe Niblick. Boys, y'all here? Y'all ready?
What's going on?
Joe.
How's it going?
Good. I think Dylan's going to get in here too.
Right.
And then we can start mentioning some baseball, some fall ball news, and then we got some college football picks.
Sweet.
I'll just start, and when he comes in, he can just join up. So Fall ball news with Tennessee baseball. They welcome in the number 5 recruiting class in the country. Got some super seniors with Luke Lipsius, Evan Russell, and Redmond Walsh. Team them up with, the talented guys like Blake Tidwell, Drew Gilbert, Jordan Beck. And I think you got a pretty solid team. And they get things going. I think they start fall practice on September 30th. The inter-squad scrimmages that they have will be open to the public. October 23rd, they play Georgia State in Chattanooga at the Lookout Stadium. And then the October 30th, they play Louisiana Tech in Millington, Tennessee. And then November 2nd, Fall World Series. And that'll be open to the public, free admission. It's just a good way to start baseball back up a little bit. You get a little taste of it until the start of the season really starts up in February. So if you get a chance, go check these guys out. They've done a phenomenal job building that program up to what it was last year, and hopefully they're able to repeat some of that success this year. So that starts – again, they start practice September 30th. Go Vols.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get in some picks.
Get Dylan in here.
Okay. Dylan, my man.
What's up?
What's up?
How you doing?
Just in time.
Yeah.
So Dylan actually has a podcast. I'll let you plug that real quick. Podcast talking about betting.
Yeah, new sports gambling podcast. It's Man versus Line. You can find us at Man v Line on both Twitter and Instagram. It's been a while. We had a really good episode yesterday. Had a buddy of mine on. It was absolutely wild. Of course, I'm always picking the Vols. I'm rolling with that.
Absolutely. Okay, so you got them covering, or you got them winning?
I got them covering. 20 and a half is a lot of points, and it's already dropping it to 18 and a half now. It's probably going to get down to at least 17 and a half or 17 flat before the game actually gets played. Take it early. Like I said, it's Tennessee versus Florida. These are always close games. It seems to be, except for, last year is one of the off years, but usually it's a close game. I think 20 and a half points is way too much.
Okay. So is that your lock? What is your – if you had one absolute lock to put $1,000, I'm never throwing $1,000 on a bet, especially in sports. They make me have too much gray hair as it is, so I'm not throwing $1,000. But what's you guys your absolute lock this week?
So I'm actually – it's my lock on the show was Army 8.5 versus Miami of Ohio. Army's a good team. They were up on Western Kentucky in the fourth quarter by 21. Only ended up winning by 3, but that's just because they kind of were lacking in the fourth quarter. But I think they win that game by 14 plus. But if I had to make an absolute lock, I really like Arkansas money line in this league. I really like it. I think Arkansas wins that game.
Against A&M?
Yep.
Oh man, KJ Jefferson on that defense. I agree. I don't trust Texas A&M offensively at all. But that's what is that at? Is it plus 300?
What I got it at.
Oh, 190? I don't know about 190. I want that at least 200. I want to double my money.
Right.
So, Joe, what you got? You got any locks this week? I know you're not at the age yet, but you're getting there.
Right, yeah. I had Army in Arkansas, but I like Iowa minus 23. I know it's like big number, but it's Colorado State. Iowa looks like fantastic. That place gets jumping, so I mean I feel like I don't know. 23 seems a little low for me. I like Houston minus 20 against Navy at home. Kentucky minus 5 against South Carolina. South Carolina just no. So I mean Kentucky's not that great either, but I think at home, I don't know. I like them.
Okay.
That Kentucky line is a layup this week for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you got Kentucky. So I've seen a lot of people pick South Carolina to cover, not to win. Yeah, I've seen a lot of.
The spread was 5, right? Last time I checked.
It was 5 when we got it.
I think it's at like
so easy.
5.5. Yeah.
I think it's because Kentucky had a bad week last week against Chat, and it was a close game. I think Las Vegas is overreacting. Bookies are overreacting. I think Kentucky is a way better team, and I think they're going to show it this week.
Cool. Kentucky, there you go. I got one game to ask you guys, and it's a team I've rode with these past 3 weeks. It's Kansas State. I know Skylar Thompson is probably out. So Kansas State, Oklahoma State.
What's the spread?
Yeah, Oklahoma. It's -6.
I feel like that's a pretty good spread. And you would be picking the +6, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I don't think.
I love me some Deuce Vaughn. He's my running back. I hope the Panthers get him when he gets to the league. Oh yeah,
too.
Football name.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think that's probably a great pick. And another sneaky pick this week is Wake Forest +4. Wake Forest is a very good team. 3-0, been hot to start out the year. It's a great line for them. Honestly, I don't know how they weren't favored. Dominant performances, beat the crap out of Duke. I know Duke's a bad team. Sorry, cut, but Wake Forest has been looking good. So I like Wake Forest +4 too this week.
Okay. Do y'all think Clemson figures it out this week? -10, I think it was at 9.5. I like that because I just think at some point it's just like they got to figure it out. Justin Ross, DJ, I'm not even tried. I have tried it before on the show and I butchered it, so I'm just going to do the kid a favor and just relax on it. But do you think they figured it out?
I don't hate NC State. I don't hate them.
I've seen a lot of people pick NC State too.
I think the money is on NC State, but it's like we said, they got to figure it out at some point. Obviously, last week is probably one of the worst performances they've had against a very bad Georgia Tech team. They only ended up winning by 6, but the bet I really like in that game, I think the total is 63.5.
Going under?
Under, absolutely under.
That's the line. I'm hammering that under.
Yeah.
Life's too short to bet the under, guys.
Look, I'm a big overs guy, but I've got burned a lot on overs this year. So
yeah.
I
mean, definitely Tennessee and Florida. I'm looking at that game. I'm like, it just screams under to me. That's why I'm probably not going to touch it. But it just looks like Tennessee's not great on offense. They look pretty good on defense, and I just don't really trust Florida's offense to score 40 points.
Right. Yeah. I would say the under's probably the better go there.
Okay.
Especially in games that mean something. And, you look at the Alabama-Florida game last week. I don't think it was as much Florida playing well in the second half. I think it was much Alabama letting off the gas second half, really.
Okay.
So, yeah, I like the under there as well.
Iowa State, Baylor. -7.
For Iowa State. I don't know. I haven't really watched too much Baylor. So I don't know.
They haven't played anybody. Texas State, Texas Southern, Kansas. I mean, so that nobody.
Yeah. What do those teams have combined wins? Maybe 1 or 2? All 3 of them?
Maybe not. I can tell you in a second. Texas State has 1 win against Florida International, sorry. There's no way Kansas has a win. There's no way.
I think they did win because they stormed the field, I'm pretty sure, earlier.
They beat South Dakota.
They beat who?
South Dakota.
And they stormed. That's right. We had as it fell on the week on the show because I guess when you do it, I guess you got when you have the opportunity, I guess you do it. Yeah, there's not a ton of lines I just love this week.
Yeah, I said the same thing yesterday. Spreads were not weak. There was just a lot of them too big, or I think there's a lot of toss-up games this week. As a fan, this is a great week for football. There's a lot of great games that could go either way, but as a gambler, it's not great. Definitely not great.
Also, I'm picking Ole Miss to cover until they prove me wrong.
Hammer them. Matt Corral easily is the Heisman favorite right now.
I'll tell you what,
Bama, careful. That Ole Miss team will absolutely beat them if they have a chance.
So that's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Is we've heard this week, and no one's really given Florida credit. They just think Alabama just didn't look great.
Right.
Do you think it's that? Do you think Alabama is just not the same Alabama that they've been? Or what do you think that was this past week?
I think that I thought they looked like great coming into the season. I think a lot of people's like general distaste for Florida just makes them automatically go to, they're not going to give them credit. They're just going to discredit them and say Alabama had a bad game or whatever. I mean,
That's
I think it might
me.
be
I mean, I don't.
right. I mean, I don't think Alabama like pounded on them. Like, I don't think they were playing at their best, but I think Florida definitely took advantage of some spas.
Yeah, that first quarter, I was like 21-3. I was like, I'm glad I picked Alabama to cover. But then I don't know what happened. They just kind of stopped.
Joe Milton is starting this weekend.
Is that real?
Yeah, there's no. Oh God.
That's fake. It's fake.
Gotta be fake, right?
Yeah, it's Wacko Vol. Caleb said he got me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not real.
Yeah,
that's not. I was like, there's no way this man just announced this on Vol calls.
Those kids in the back of the end zone alive, they might catch some balls if he was going to be starting.
I saw a lot of people, and I'm going to talk about this. I guess do y'all have any more? Do y'all want to talk about any more games?
I'm a big NFL guy, and so I really like Saints money line versus Pats this week. There's a battle NFL come back and win in Foxborough.
Dude, the NFL has not been great betting wise.
It's been crazy, absolutely insane.
I mean, for anybody. I mean, there's no. I guess that guy who had the 15 or 16 team parlay. Did y'all see that on BetMGM?
Yeah, absolutely insane.
I mean, I guess he had an okay day. I mean, not as good as if the Lions would have won, but the fact that they were able to give him something.
Yeah, 100.
Because what do you won like
right? 730,000, but he ended up getting 133,000, which is crazy because I mean you didn't win.
It was $25 free bet. Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Good for him. I'd be done after that. If I won that kind of money, I'm never betting again. I'm done.
Right.
Yeah, that's NFL, dude. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna ever bet on the Panthers just because I have a hard time betting on the teams that I really like. I do like betting against the teams I like. I do like betting against Tennessee. Last year I made a lot of money betting against Tennessee. But dude, the Panthers look good.
They do. Sam Darnold is, and so a lot of people in my classes, because I live in Connecticut, a lot of guys are like Jets fans, and they're all like, "Oh, it's crazy now that Sam Darnold's on like a decent team. How good he looks!"
Oh yeah,
he really does. He looks a lot better. Chris McCaffrey's production is only going to increase as the season goes on. So I think they're a pretty decent team this year.
Cool. Joe, who's your team? Are you a Titans fan?
No, I'm technically a Saints fan. I mean, definitely like college football over like NFL, 100%. Just like terms of fandom, but whoever's on my
That's like people up north, Dylan, you know this. Like people up north, they're like, college football, what is that?
Yeah, it's big MLB and Giants Jets up here. Like it's big on the Yankees, a lot of people big on the Mets, Red Sox. So yeah, college football is really an afterthought. I mean, if you look at the schools around here, like Rutgers and North Jersey, like
that Greg Schiano love up there is
he could have been our guy, man.
Yeah. God. Also, I kind of like that line. What is it, 18 with Michigan?
Yeah.
I don't know if Rutgers scores.
Oh yeah, easy. Michigan looks great this year. They look great this year. I think they found their quarterback.
I do want to sprinkle some money on Blake Corum being a Heisman winner. I don't think he will just because I think it's quarterback heavy, but I think it's like plus 7,500. So, I mean, $1 wins $75.
Yeah.
I did put quite a bit of money on Matt Corral to win it just because it's still plus odds. I mean, I think that's going to dwindle down, especially if he has a great game against Alabama.
Absolutely.
Let's get into what's trending real quick. Y'all got anything prepared? I kind of gave you a heads up, but I kind of didn't either. It was kind of short notice.
Yeah. So I'm sure I watched the Peyton and Eli broadcast on Monday, and Peyton was talking and drawing that he thought the Patriots bugged the locker room. And so I did a little bit of digging, and apparently he thought that the Patriots used to bug the away locker room, their conversations and adjustments and plays. Not confirmed, Patriots' third cheating scandal. Tony Dungy also said on the Dan Patrick Show, shout out to Dan Patrick Show, in 2015, that Peyton acted like it was true the whole time. Every time they were there, him and his receivers would either talk in the hallway or in the showers. But I wanted to bring up, are the Patriots dynasty just that good, or did we witness just the best cheating scandal in all sports?
Man, that would piss a lot of people off, especially up in the north.
Oh, yeah. Diehards.
Those Boston people just turned off the show and they're never going to watch it again. But, hey, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's good for Peyton. Even if it didn't, I think it made everybody buy in, and they actually let's go get in the showers. Like,
right.
Like it wasn't where they bought into that. I think it's really cool.
I can't just chilling under a shower head, just discussing routes and stuff. It's just
yeah. Like, are y'all that sweaty? No, we just showered real quick. Went over some stuff. Joe, you got anything?
Kind of going off what Dylan was saying. I've been seeing stuff about making that, but when they only showed it once during the game, but that behind the quarterback view that you get in Madden video games. Let's just get an alternate channel on ESPN, ESPN Plus subscription, where that's the view all game, because I will watch that all game.
Yeah, that's cool.
That behind the quarterback, right in the backfield.
That tight, that camera tight.
Yeah,
I like that. I like watching it on Huddle too. Me and my cousin's a senior in high school, so we watch film every week, and I definitely like the people who have the camera set up in the end zone where you can watch.
Film is the way to go.
Yeah,
way to go.
For sure.
And I know they're talking about putting the Peyton Eli broadcast. They want to get that for the Tennessee Ole Miss game, which that'd be fantastic.
That'd be electric. Absolutely electric.
Lane
Kiffin only follows Arch Manning now.
Yeah,
on Instagram. All-time move.
Pretty move.
On the Lane train. All-time move.
If he goes there, I'm going to lose my mind.
He probably will, honestly.
Yeah, he probably will.
Awful.
Especially if they keep trending the way they are.
Yeah.
Because last year I'm like, there's no way Arch goes to Ole Miss, but they go in there and give Alabama a game, and they're just as good as anybody else in the West. I mean, where else would you go?
Yeah, and you got to think about it. That side of the family was diehard Ole Miss. Peyton's really the only one that kind of flipped the script in that family. Definitely wasn't
right, and they're from Louisiana, so LSU will probably always be in there. But
right.
I mean, when you look at besides Joe Burrow, who has been a quarterback they've actually developed? I mean, same with us. Yeah. I mean, who have we developed in the past?
Hey, Tyler Boyd's still in the league somehow.
Yeah. Mine is Jazz Chisholm for the Marlins. He hit the Euro step after his home run versus the Nationals, and then 2 days later, Josh Rogers struck him out, and he did the Euro step off the mound into the dugout. So
I love it.
Love
it. Yeah, make sports fun again.
Exactly.
That would have been in the NFL last week.
Do y'all have any more? What's trending?
Speaking on the baseball thing, I just wanted, maybe I'm missing something. Did you see Conor McGregor's first pitch in the Cubs game?
Oh, man.
What's the deal with, these are, bred athletic people. These people are, pure athletes. Nobody, they can't throw a baseball. It's just, it's a basic thing that I feel us three, pretty much just put it, remotely close. And, you see some people that are, athletic people just go and completely botch it.
It's insane. I mean, Simone Biles did a freaking flip and threw.
That's what I'm saying.
How can Conor McGregor not just throw it remotely close? I mean, this guy, I'm looking at it right now. I don't know if you can see it. This camera guy, right here.
It was way past. It was.
I mean, dude, he could have got drilled right in the nose.
Yeah, it was close.
I saw where I think a Reddit page said Joe Milton velocity and Joe Milton accuracy.
Yeah.
So I'm man, that's tough. But yeah, not great on Conor McGregor. I mean, everything that he does, it's gonna stand out. So I guess throwing one that just one-hopped wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a publicity stunt.
It probably is. Everything he does is a PR move, so that's probably the values.
Yeah.
I'm low-key kind of worried about him. He's been off the rails for a couple months now. It's been wild. Wild.
Speaking of off the rails, Florida State is just trash. I mean, I feel bad about our program. Holy crap.
Right.
They are bad. And this one girl had a tweet. She said, "Young women in Tallahassee, please stop having sex with the FSU football players. When they approach you, act like you don't know who they are. When they tell you they play for FSU, ask them, do they play basketball? When they say football, say ooh and walk away. I bet we see a change." Hey, that's putting it in your own hands.
Yeah.
That's taking it to the man, as they say.
I mean, you got a lot. Like, I don't know if I want to see a video of somebody actually doing this.
Yeah,
because that would be hilarious. Yeah, Florida State just a trash can of a program.
Well, it's like the first week against Notre Dame when Mackenzie Milton come in. That was like such a once in a lifetime like moment. I was like, oh man, are they about to be dangerous with Mackenzie Milton back there? But no. I can't believe they lost to Jack State either. Especially Jack State got blown out by UAB.
Oh yeah, they're not good at all.
Yeah, it's just insane.
When is Deion Sanders just going to be the coach for them? Because on this train that we're going on right now, Mike Norvell is not going to be there very long.
No. He'll be lucky. And to be honest, if it's trending like it is now, he'll be lucky to get through the year.
Yeah.
But Deion always says, like, especially like Barstool and stuff, they ask him, like, him and Big Cat and Dave are always like, you should get the FSU job. He's like, I'm happy where I'm at. But I know that's like a thing where like he has to say it. But
yeah, he definitely has to say it.
He's only been there, like less than a year now at Jackson State.
Yeah. I don't even know how good they are. Not that I really care, but I do like seeing a team like Florida State be worse in a worse spot than Tennessee. It makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
Right.
Yeah. Stupidity is an epidemic, where we look at stupid tweets, stupid takes. My first one is Memphis. They tweeted a graphic or tweeted a picture of the guy running in that punt for a touchdown. It said, starting the work week with the best SEC record in the state of Tennessee. I mean, I guess they just completely forgot that ETSU beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
That's true. So they're tied for it.
Yeah. So I don't know if Penny Hardaway came up with that or what, but it's just a bad take, bad look. I mean, and then the SEC officials had to come out and say, hey, we messed that play up 3 different ways, and that's how you won.
Yeah.
And then you still tweet that out. Just, not a great look.
It's fine.
Tough look.
We'll settle in basketball.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. So mine was, look, everybody knows. Now, let me just read the tweet first. This is from State of the Vikings on Twitter. He said to all these crap-talking Cardinals fans, this is before the game, the Vikings-Cardinals game this weekend. He says, keep sleeping with the snooze emoji. Keep that same – this is very specific. Keep that same energy when y'all are crying after a last-second field goal to win it from Greg Joseph.
Oh.
This is rule number 1 as being a fan of any team. You do not say anything about the kickers.
Yeah, don't jinx them.
That's the stupidest thing you could have done. And then
every time we're about to line up for a field goal, he hasn't missed in 85 tries.
Right.
What was that Justin Tucker kick that he had an insane amount in a row, and then they said it right there, and then he just missed his first one in 3 kicks or something like that.
Also, me and my friends were talking about this. Does icing a kicker ever work? Really?
I have seen a lot where they miss the initial one.
They miss the initial one. They get the timeout, make the second one. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy.
Just let it play
in NFL,
out.
They're just two mindset. An NFL kicker, there's not that many their top.
I'm not a big fan of using timeouts for anything to just stop the clock. If you're not stopping the clock, I'm not using a timeout.
Yeah. So even if we're in a certain formation on offense and they give us something on defense we don't like, you think we just go for it anyways?
Run it.
Just run it.
I mean, at that point, you have to be confident, hey, my best is better than their best.
Right.
We're going to go get us 3 yards on this freaking dive play that they got 8 down linemen for.
I tell you what, I wish we had a timeout or used a timeout. Oh, it had to be a while ago, but we were playing at LSU. We had 12 men on the field. Thought we won the game. They turned out 12 men. That would be a good time to use a timeout.
Oh my God! Speaking of that, I'm booking that LSU trip. I'm going. I want to see a game there so bad.
Seems like the coolest place on earth.
I think Caleb wants to also go to Pitt. I don't know about that one. We'll
I'll be at the Pitt game, so let's make a trip out of it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. I'm trying to. So out of college, I wasn't able to go to a lot of away games. So now, like after college, I'm like, I want to go to like every SEC school at least once.
Right.
So we've been to Kentucky. We've been to Vanderbilt, unfortunately.
What was Kentucky like?
Kentucky's cool. Like it's so weird. It's like you walk through like campus, and then there's just like this field, and there's a big football stadium in it. And it's not that it's I shouldn't say big, but it's big for a city. And so it was kind of cool. I mean, they got a pretty decent atmosphere when you look at what their program is. It's kind of updated. They got a lot of stuff updated, so it's not just like this cathedral of college football. It's kind of a nice Texas high school stadium. But yeah, it was cool. We won, so that made it better. I was there for Vanderbilt in 2018 when we lost, and that was I wanted to just jump off the back of the stadium. It was miserable.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's like an all-time low moment that I will remember forever.
Oh yeah, like we're well on our way to go to a bowl game, and then our team just like
that, and then losing Kentucky. What was the streak that we had for the longest time? It was like 37 years or something, right?
Yeah, they'd never beat us at home.
Yeah, like my whole life, never lost to them. And then, of course, I'm at the game where they beat us.
Oh yeah, we spot them freaking 14 points.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, let's get real depressed.
Yeah, let's get our back real quick.
Yeah, keep the energy up. Come on.
Prediction wise for Saturday, what y'all got? I have 31-21 Florida. It'll probably change. I'll talk myself into a win later on this week, but that's what I'm going with. Right,
that's close to what I had. I had 34-18.
Okay, so you got the under.
There. I have 34-20. I'm like right where you guys are, pretty much.
Okay, so we like the under. Love it.
Yeah, I still won't bet it, but
Yeah, I think I put 10 on it, so not bad.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to counter because, like, I don't know. I can't get mad at a Tennessee touchdown, but if it's like right on the line, I don't want to sit here and be like,
See, I took Pitt to win, and I was like, I'll throw $25 on this game if Tennessee loses, or Tennessee wins. That's the best $25 I've ever spent.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
So,
yeah, the Pitt game was
not great. Not great. No. Well, boys, y'all got anything else you want to add?
I will say, I will be at the Ole Miss game. I cannot wait. I just hope
dude.
I hope we look. Like, I know this weekend's like it's a tough game, like the number 11 team in the nation. But if we can win out until then, I feel like the atmosphere is going to be great. I cannot wait. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be great regardless.
5 years. I'm hype.
I just hope it's not a freaking noon game. I'm so sick of noon kickoffs.
Oh, worse.
Yeah.
I'll take like a 3:30 kickoff, like Checker Neyland. Perfect. Cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Good.
I'd also like a night game. Just like something about Lane Kiffin at night. The thief in the night just coming in. I mean, that would be electric too. But yeah, y'all have to come by. We'll tailgate. Have a big one for that game. So, come by, party it up a little bit.
Do it.
Guys, I appreciate y'all coming on.
Of course.
No problem.
Joe's on here a little bit more because he produces. I'm going to get y'all on for a couple of segments. Caleb had to go do some homework that he's got to get ready before we head out to Nashville this weekend for a wedding, fall wedding. Don't recommend it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, that's like the number one sin in the South.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. He's actually been on this show and like talked about fall weddings, and now he's having one. So
it's but as a husband or fiance, we all say fall weddings no go. Like we don't have to say. We don't have to say.
I mean, they compromised away game, night game. I mean, well, they didn't know the time, but away game, so like it's fine. But you're cutting it close there with it.
Well, it's like I said earlier.
Florida, dude. It's Florida.
It's going to be over. They'll be at the receptions, but everybody will just be like,
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, you got a TV set up. He's like,
Yeah, they need better
we'll have it.
Projector.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. We're going to get out of here. That's all we got. We're bringing the boat in. Go Vols, and we out.